joke, I've been a money maker. I've been a record breaker, taking credit as an educator. I've been known to spit the flows and make it shaky, shaky thing. Popping, locking, stopping, let it hang. Watch us as we drop this hip hop, it's like it stings. We make the whole room drop and everybody sing. We want the funk. We gotta have that funk. We kick it old school, we think we're so cool. We take it back to the past, we gonna act a fool. Up jumps the middle finger, make my Jaeger just.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Sports Buzz, the Fanatical View. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here live in studio, Comcast Cable, Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut, on this February 1st. January is goodbye to that month. In month 2 of 2018, seems like we haven't been here since last year. We did do that one show early in the month. And then, of course, you know how it goes down here. But we are here ready to roll with our Super Bowl preview show on a somewhat cold and dreary, rainy, drizzly kind of, you know, it was super cold last time we were here, but at least we had some sunshine back then. Not that much sunshine lately. A lot of clouds, a lot of just general dreariness out and about. But you know, we're more than a month passed through winter, moving into February. Groundhog Day coming up. We'll see what happens with that, and we can look forward to pitchers and catchers arriving soon, and, you know, away we go. Hopefully spring not that far up. But let's say hello to our right-man man, Mr. Bob Broad Jr.
Hi, Scott. It's been a while.
It has been a while, about 3 weeks, I guess it's been. How's things been for you?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you. Are you excited about the Super Bowl?
Yes and no. I'd be more excited if the Giants were in it, but
it's the Super Bowl, so there's that.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty much all East Coast.
Well, it's a good matchup, I think. Eagles, you know, one of your
Pats.
NFC East Division rivals versus the Patriots, of course, my team, so I'm happy about that. This is a rematch as Mike Toohey jumps the gun and starts rolling the rematch pictures quick. Let's mention Bob's Show Spotlight on Tuesday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 12. And Mike, who's in there directing, Expose Cinema, Friday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 1. Bob's whole family is here, the whole crew.
The whole crew.
Jenna, Kana, and Jolene. I hadn't seen all of them in a while. Jenna's got a nice new haircut, looking very good. I'll mention the phone line is open. 203-792-4101 is the number. Get on the phone line. We're only here for 30 minutes. If you want to call, talk Super Bowl, talk something else, whatever you want. All right, so Super Bowl Sunday this week. LII. What is that, 52?
52.
U.S. Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. The point spread currently is 4 points. Patriots favored. It started at 5.5. I think that means money is moving towards the Eagles.
Right.
Not that it matters that much because the game is played inside.
Right.
But I did want to check just to see what they've been dealing with out there in Minneapolis. Temps have been in the single digits
but you know
in
the
teens.
worst thing they're dealing with? They said they're going to deal with this weekend? The flu.
Well, the flu bug is going around here for sure.
Yeah,
flu bug seems to be all over the
bad,
country.
I guess, in Minnesota. According, they got schools closed. And
really?
Yeah.
I think Malcolm Butler might have been dealing with something. But the temperatures are in the teens and single digits this whole last few days and through the weekend. Snow is possible on game day, which could mean traffic and travel problems. For people trying to get to and from the game. It could be a mess out there in Minneapolis. We will see this weekend for people around here wondering what their day is going to be like Sunday. High of 43, low of 34 is the current forecast with precipitation possible.
Yeah, they said there's a chance of really interesting weather.
Well, if it's above 32, that means if it hangs as the night gets down and it's raining, snowing, it could get freezing as it drops temperature. So it could be messy.
We might have some of that tonight.
So we'll keep our eye on that. Hopefully everybody's safe and enjoys their day and travel is not too bad coming and going from whatever party you were heading to. But as we mentioned, Bob, this is a rematch of the Patriots versus the Eagles 2004-2005 season. XXXIX. That was, as we see right there, Donovan McNabb's first and only chance to lead the Eagles to a Super Bowl. Remember, he had lost 3 straight NFC Championship games.
That's right,
the Eagles did before breaking through in that season, getting them to the Super Bowl. And the Patriots won that game 24-21. That game 7-7 at the half. Not much in the first half. Patriots opened up a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. The Eagles finally cut it to that 3-point deficit inside 2 minutes. They did not get an onside kick. They did end up getting the ball back at their own 4-yard line with 46 seconds left. And then Rodney Harrison came up with his second interception of the game to seal it for the Patriots as they won 24-21, their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years, which, oh, by the way, Bob, is what they'll be trying to do this weekend.
Yes, they
win
will.
their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years, a little bookend situation as they started the Brady-Belichick connection with 3 and 4. Maybe this is coming to an end, although Brady doesn't sound like he's ready to retire. He's certainly not playing like he's ready to retire. But you never know. Maybe they get 3 and 4 to end it. But I think the Eagles are going to definitely give them a tough time. Remember going back to that game, that was Terrell Owens with the injured leg, did not play in the postseason, came back, had a pretty good game, 10 catches, I believe, in that game. And there was a lot of talk about what was going to go on with him. And then that whole thing with him and Donovan McNabb blew up, and they jettisoned him out of there not that long after that loss. Deion Branch, I believe, was the MVP of that one, catching 11 out of 12 balls thrown his way, and they also had a big running attack from Corey Dillon. So the Eagles have no Super Bowl rings in their 58 years, Bob.
Wow.
Last time they won an NFL championship was before the Super Bowl came into vogue. That was 1960, 6 years before the first Super Bowl. So it has been a very, very, very long time. The only other time they made the Super Bowl was XV, 1980. And they played the Oakland Raiders, who, by the way, Bob, in winning 27-10, the Oakland Raiders became the first wild card team ever to win the Super Bowl.
Really?
A little interesting side note, and there we see Kenny King, who at the time set the Super Bowl record for longest touchdown with an 80-yard, basically, screen pass from Jim Plunkett. And Herm Edwards was the guy who was beat on the play.
Right.
The future New York Jet football coach who always said, we play to win the game.
Yes, they did.
But they did not win the game on that day. Ron Jaworski, one of the great Eagles quarterbacks before the era of Randall Cunningham. I was mentioning to you before we started the show, Bob, this was my first experience in gambling.
You lost?
A 10-year-old as I was in 1980, I wanted the Eagles to win that day.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to pull the upset. My dad said, "You think so, kid? I'll take that money. I'll take that bet, and I'll take your money. Oakland's going to beat them," and that they did, 27-10.
Okay, so what's your prediction?
We'll get to the predictions, Bob. We got a lot of history to go through here. Hold on a second. This year, though, before we get to the Patriots history, the Patriots started the year with injuries to Julian Edelman and then Dante Hightower, two key integral players specifically in both their last Super Bowl wins. But the Eagles have also had their share of injuries. Jason Peters, their all-pro lineman, offensive lineman, and Darren Sproles, the versatile back, were hurt early. And then their second-year quarterback, who was taking the league by storm, Carson Wentz, went down, and they had to turn to Nicky Foles. But both teams ended up number one seeds, came in at 15-3 coming into the game. To get to the Super Bowl, the Eagles beat the Vikings 38-7 in a blowout in the NFC Championship game. They had their tight game against the Falcons the week before, 15-10. Of course, that was also the weekend that we saw the Vikings pull that unbelievable play.
Oh, yes.
Where they just shocked the Saints and everybody on that last second. Can you Diggs it? Stephon Diggs, touchdown, a miraculous play to win it and send the Vikings to that game against the Eagles where they bowed out quickly. And let's get to mentioning this. We got a couple stats of the week. One of them is a question that has no answer. We're going to have to figure it out. I should probably ask it quick so maybe a caller could give it to us. But I'm going to mention the second stat of the week first from Strange Man.
Okay.
Vikes at Philly. Vikings went 7-0 during the season when scoring first. But the streak was stopped in Philly when the Eagles came back and scored 38 unanswered points in that game after falling behind 7-0 to the Vikings. All right, his other stat of the week, he starts off by talking about the Pro Bowl, which, did you watch any of that, Bob? I didn't watch any of that.
I call it the Losers Bowl.
Pro Bowl. AFC overcame second largest deficit to win by a point, 24-23 AFC. But poor Big Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers had a pick run back for 6 points in the driving rain in that game. But he wanted to know, Big Ben passed for 450-plus yards in that loss to Jacksonville in the AFC divisional game, which I think we got a couple pictures of as well. That was a shocking game. He wants to know, when was the last time a quarterback passed for 450-plus yards in a playoff game and lost? I don't know. Is he going to call in and give us the answer? Strange Man, are you out there? The phone number, 203-792-4101. Anybody out there in Viewerland? Does anybody know this?
The answer to that, please call in.
I don't know. But anyways, getting back to what we were talking about, Patriots had to gut out their championship game 24-20, down 10 in the fourth quarter. 14 unanswered points by the Patriots as they come back and beat the Jaguars in that one in a very, very tough game. As I mentioned, after the Jaguars played that great game in Pittsburgh the week before where they knocked off the Steelers in a high-scoring affair. But the Patriots really looked like they were in big trouble in that game. The underreported thing that's always underreported is special teams, Bob. In the second half, the Patriots have the poise and the patience, and they believe in their process, and they continue to punt the ball away and pin the Jaguars deep in their own territory. They started most of their possessions inside the 10-yard line, and they won the battle of field position, and that ultimately led to them getting that touchdown to cut it to 3, and then it led to them getting the kick return by Amendola, who did everything in the second half after Gronkowski was knocked out on that brutal hit late in the first half. Shot right to the temple, knocked him out, and he was in the concussion protocol and out of that game. Cleared finally today, as a matter of fact, from that concussion protocol, and he will definitely be cleared to play and in the Super Bowl. But Amendola got the kick return and set them up for the game-winning drive starting at their own 30-yard line. Did not have far to go. They were already in field goal range to tie it. They could play loose. They could go for what they wanted, and they went for the touchdown and won it 24-20 to get to their 10th Super Bowl, Bob. 10th Super Bowl since 1985. That's basically one every 3 years.
Okay.
Unbelievable. They beat the Titans in the divisional round 35-14 before that. So coming into this game, Bob, let's just mention a couple things. Brady, 42 comebacks in the fourth quarter all time, 11 in the postseason. That's a pretty big number. The Eagles.
Maniac is here.
Maniac is here, all right.
Yes.
Eagles have the 5th-ranked defense in the league, but the Patriots have allowed the fewest points allowed since week 5. Remember the first 5 weeks of the season, they gave up all those points? Since then, they've been allowing, I believe, 14 points a game. But their defenses looked a little shaky. They didn't look great against the Jaguars, played pretty well, had a bunch of sacks against the Titans. They were a little shaky against the Steelers late in the season and against Miami, if you remember. But here we are heading into their 10th Super Bowl, Bob. The Patriots all-time 5-4.
Right.
Brady and Belichick 5-2. Let's run through it real quick. Mike will be ready. We'll get it going. 1985 Super Bowl XX. Ike in New Orleans, 46-10. The crushing defeat to the Bears. The Bears. 1997 XXXI. 35-21, Desmond Howard breaks the hearts of the Packers. I still want to know, Big Tuna, Bill Parcells, where was Troy Brown on this play? Oh, my God, a great special teamers. He would have plugged that gap. That was his gap to plug, but yet Desmond Howard goes 99 yards after the Patriots had cut it to 6. They lose at 35-21. 2002 XXXVI. The unbelievable underdog win against the greatest show on turf. They beat the Rams 20-17. Tom Brady drives them down the field in the waning seconds to set up the game-winning Adam Vinatieri field goal.
Right?
What's that?
That was his rookie year, right?
His rookie, not his rookie year, but his first year as a starter. Remember, Drew Bledsoe was knocked out by Mo Lewis,
Yes.
right? Of the Jets in the week. It was the first game, I do believe, after 9/11.
Right.
And it was up in Foxborough. A lot of emotions. The Jets won that game, I believe, 10-3.
Yeah.
Mo Lewis drilled Bledsoe on the sideline. He had the internal bleeding, and that was it for him and his Patriot career. Although he did have that great moment in Pittsburgh when Brady was hurt in the playoffs, remember, and led them to victory over Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship game. 2004 XXXVIII. 32-29, Patriots over the Panthers. Another game-winning field goal by Adam Vinatieri, the future Hall of Famer. 2005, we already mentioned that one against the Eagles, and they won it there. 2008, and here comes the imperfect, not-so-perfect season. XLII 17-14 Giants, the Mirage in the deserts. David Tyree with the catch off the helmet, and they beat the Patriots, scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter. They had only scored 3 points in that game heading into that. They got the miraculous catch by Tyree, never to be heard from again. 17-14 Giants upend the Patriots in the Spygate perfect season, ending them with bitter defeat. 2012, more bitter defeat, XLVI. Wes Welker caught more passes than any other receiver over a 5-year period, but he could not catch this one. Wide open, right off his hands, Wes. You wanted to go to Denver where you'd have a chance to win the Super Bowl? I'm looking at the picture right there, Wes. You had a chance to win the Super Bowl. Right there. Catch the ball. Patriots would have won that game. Instead, he drops it. Giants come back. The Giants were 9-7 that year, Bob. 21-17 in Indianapolis. A little also Manning brothers working their mojo against Brady and Belichick.
Yeah.
And things were ugly at that point for the Patriots, losing 2 straight. They had not won in a while. And then finally, they get back in the winners column, 2015 XLIX. Malcolm the Butler did it at the goal line, picking off the Seahawks 28-24. Largest comeback at that time in Super Bowl history, coming from 10 points down in the fourth quarter against the vaunted Legion of Doom defense. They get it done. 28-24 in that one. Sadly, we do not have a picture to commemorate the next one. Last year's 2017 LI 34-28 overtime victory against the Falcons, where they shattered that record of largest comeback victory, coming from 25 points down in this game, Bob. Still unbelievable to think what happened in that game, needing the 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions late to get to overtime and then winning it easily in overtime, driving right down the field for the game-winning touchdown. Wow. How about this for a stat?
What's that?
The Brady-Belichick Patriots have scored no touchdowns in the first quarter ever in the Super Bowl.
Never?
Never. Would you have believed that?
No.
In their 5-2 Patriot at 7 Super Bowls with those two.
What's the most in fourth quarter?
Well, they do most of their damage in the fourth quarter. I don't have specific stats for that, but that if you're a gambling man looking for some interesting side bets, low scoring first halves, no touchdowns in the first halves. They usually are behind in the first half as well, and they come from behind and win it in the second half. So no Edelman, no Hightower. We mentioned no Wentz for the Eagles. Gronk cleared from concussion. Brady's stitches have been removed. Let's get your prediction. Who do you like?
Of course, I like the Eagles.
You like the Eagles to win.
Yes, but I would bet
4-point spread.
What's the point spread?
4-point spread. Well, if you like the Eagles to win, you take them no matter what the point spread,
Right.
because they're getting 4.
I would say, I'll say if it were to come down to it and they do win, it'd be like 21 to I'll say 21 to
Let's have it, Bob.
20.
Come on.
21-20. How's that?
Oh, a 1-point nail biter.
Yeah.
Where the Patriots go down in defeat to the Eagles. Tell Mike real quick, just to give it to you in your ear there over the headset.
Mike, what do you think?
Make it snappy.
Yeah.
What's he saying?
He says if the Patriots score in the first quarter, they'll win the game.
But what does he think's going to happen? Who does he like to win? Eagles or Patriots? Who? I'm getting a soft prediction from him. He's not committing. What's he saying, Bob? Give me what he's saying.
Yes.
This is live television. We need audio.
27-17 Patriots. That's what his
27-17 Patriots. I'm going to predict.
But that's if they score in the first quarter. Yeah.
Well, we're not going on that. We're going either who he thinks is going to win, who he thinks is going to lose.
He thinks the Patriots are going to win.
He thinks the Patriots are going to win. I'm going to stick with the Patriots. I think the Eagles have a great chance to win this game. I was on the Nick Foles bandwagon the whole time. I thought that people were undercutting him wrongly, although I will point out they only scored 15 points against the Falcons. So last week, 2 weeks ago, they scored a bunch. The week before that, not so much. Patriots, we mentioned, with the defense not giving up a lot of points. Bend but don't break. They've been a little shaky lately. I haven't liked what I've seen. I'm going to go duplicate copy, 24-21. So that means the Eagles will cover the point spread. Patriots win it and go 6-2 in the Brady-Belichick era. It's going to be tough. I'm going to be watching the game, the same place I did. I'll go different house, but at my friend Rob Ozenkowski's big, huge Philadelphia Eagle fan. He once had a dog named Philly.
Really?
Yep. I watched the game at his house in 2005. It worked well for me. I don't know, that year, you know what I did, Bob?
What's that?
I wore about 5 layers of clothes. I had like a Patriots sweatshirt for pregame.
Right.
We got to the game. I took that off. I had a Patriots jersey, another Patriots shirt. We got through the first quarter. I took that off. I had another Patriots shirt. We got through halftime. I took that off through the third quarter, and then I had my winning Patriots jersey for the fourth quarter. I might have to do that again this year. I might have to see what I got to do. I got to come up with something. But I am watching the game at a Philadelphia Eagle fan's house. It's going to be dicey. It's going to be good. It's going to be raucous. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a good time. I hope everybody enjoys the Super Bowl. All right. Does Tui have an opinion? Does Mike even watch football?
Yeah. 24-10 Patriots.
Ooh, cover the point spread, win it easy. All right, I do want to touch on, we only got inside 5 minutes, about 4 minutes or so to go?
4 minutes.
A little NBA and NHL action. Celtics have been a little down lately, struggling, but they have now won 2 in a row with a 103-73 thumping of the Knicks last night as they got back home after a road trip. They moved to 37-15. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They had lost 4 in a row and 5 of 6. Great game the other night, Saturday night against Golden State. I don't know if you saw that in prime time. What a game that was out in Oakland. They did lose that one, but it was a great game. Came right down to the wire. Steph Curry, 48 points, 49 points in that game? Wow. Last night they played without Marcus Smart and Kyrie Irving, and they still pounded the road dog Knicks, who cannot win on the road. Knicks 23-29, Bob. They made hay early in the season at home.
Right.
They've been on the road a lot lately, and they are pummeling or dropping fast in the standings. So they are way out of the playoff race. Celtics first First place right now, Toronto second, Cavs, Miami. The Washington Wizards without John Wall now for a while with an injury. Pacers, Bucks after firing Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
And the Sixers are the top 8 teams. Sixers 24 and 24. The Pistons with Andre Drummond, he gets bolstered with another big man as they make that blockbuster trade with the Clippers for Blake Griffin. Pistons are 23 and 26, so they are 1.5, I guess it is, behind the Sixers. They trade former Celtic Avery Bradley to the Clippers. Clippers are 25 and 25, only a half game out of the playoffs in the West. A little surprised they traded Blake Griffin, so they've blown up their team. Speaking of basketball, real quick before we get to hockey to finish, I don't even know what to say about the UConn men, Bob. 11 and 11, 4 and 5,
Yeah.
lost 4 out of their last 5, 2 in a row. You know, last night losing 70 to 61 against UCF, that's bad enough. But they went to Temple this past weekend, a team that was 2 and 6 in the division and lost 85 to 57.
They got smoked.
They're home this weekend against Cincinnati, who's 9-0 in division, 20-2 on the season, ranked 8th in the country. Nova, Virginia, Purdue, Duke, Michigan State, Xavier, and Kansas are the teams ahead of them. Didn't Duke just lose at home to Virginia and they're still ranked number 4?
Yeah.
Interesting. NHL, the Bruins had their 18-game point streak snapped. 3-1 loss to Anaheim. They had gotten a point and won most of those games. A couple of them were overtime losses, but they had been the hottest team in the NHL. They are in second place in the Atlantic at 66 points. Tampa 71. Toronto behind them at 63. Devils in third place in the Metro at 58 points. Penguins have jumped up and over everybody at 59. Capitals first at 65. So the Bruins actually have a better record than all those teams in the Metro. Metro is bunched up, Bob. Very, very tight playoff race. Wild card is Columbus at 58, Flyers at 56, Rangers and Islanders 55, Carolina 54. So the Rangers and Islanders are a point out right now.
Are we live next week?
We are live next week. We will be back to break down the Super Bowl. We'll get more into NBA and NHL stuff. We'll start moving on. Maybe we'll start talking a little.
Yeah, because we'll have pitchers and catchers.
Pitchers and catchers. We'll get more into the big announcement by the Westerners and Chris Chambliss, correct?
Chris Chambliss will be our guest speaker this year.
Guest speaker at the breakfast. I'm not sure how much time have we got.
20 seconds.
All right, so we're just about out of time. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Glad Mike Maniac came in and made it. We'll see him out in the control room when we're done, get his real thoughts on the big game. We wish everybody well. We hope we win some money. Hope your team wins. And that's it. We'll see you next week.